Bowmanville Jane Doe, the Red Garnet Ring Mystery. An unidentified young woman of Caribbean heritage found in a remote Ontario marsh. Who was she? Welcome to Ontario Cold Cases, Canada's true crime podcast. I'm your host, J. Nickel Investigations. Today we're examining the case of the Bowmanville Jane Doe, a young woman whose skeletal remains were found in 2006 near the Darlington nuclear plant. Despite extensive efforts, she remains unidentified, and her death is treated as suspicious. Let's walk through the facts as we know them. On October 27, 2006, a man was out harvesting dogwood plants in a marshy, boggy field near the entrance to the Darlington nuclear plant in Bowmanville, Ontario. This spot is at the junction of South Service Road and Holt Road in the municipality of Clarington, just off the eastbound exit of Highway 401. He stumbled upon skeletal human remains and immediately called the police from his cell phone. The area is dense and off the beaten path, leading investigators to believe it could be a body dump site. Estimates suggest remains have been there for anywhere from 2 to 25 years, potentially dating back to between 1981 and 2004, some narrowing it to 1996 through 2004. The remains include a skull, a femur, and scattered bones. No hair or clothing was attached directly to the body at the time of discovery. Forensic analysis determined the victim was a female, estimated to be between 18 and 25 years old at the time of death, though some reports extend that range to 18 to 30 or even 18 to 40. Her height and build aren't specified in the records. She had several distinguishing features: a well-healed nasal fracture at the midpoint of her nose, which might have come from surgery or rhinoplasty, protruding upper and lower teeth, with the upper ones more prominent, and narrow upper and lower jaws. Bone analysis also indicated possible anemia. Her teeth were in good condition with metal and composite fillings. White fillings on the front teeth, small silver fillings in some back teeth, one front tooth slightly wider than the other, and 2 teeth missing from the skull. Hair color and type remain unknown. In 2006, DNA profiling was conducted on the remains. Then in 2021, further genetic genealogy analysis revealed she was of largely African heritage, with some Southeast Asian ancestry. This points to possible ties to the Caribbean, specifically islands like St. Lucia or St. Vincent in the Grenadines. The DNA Doe Project joined the identification efforts in April 2021, and as of the last updates in 2023, the research was ongoing with no matches to missing persons databases in Canada or the United States. No clothing was found on the remains initially, but searches yielded several items that could be connected. The first search, wrapping up on November 29, 2006, turned up a piece of red ribbon, a small red heart-shaped object, a 1980 Canadian penny, and a woman's OMNI digital watch, a large face, and stainless steel straps designed for a small wrist. That watch was manufactured in the early 1980s and sold exclusively at Consumers Distributing from 1981 to 1983. Then, on October 27, 2010, exactly 4 years after the discovery, an expanded grid search covered a 20-acre area, made possible by dry conditions that lowered the water table. The search uncovered remnants of gray track pants, a men's hooded short-sleeved shirt with red, yellow, and blue stripes, labeled Blue Rodeo, and sold by Tip Top Tailors between 1995 and 1996, and a size 9.5 women's gold ring with a red garnet stone and 2 one-point diamonds on either side. The ring is stamped Burns on the inside, manufactured by A&A Manufacturing in Toronto and sold at Burns Jewelers in Oshawa, Ontario, which operated from 1923 to 1994. Showed signs of frequent wear, suggesting it was likely something the victim wore often. Burns Jewelers was about 15.9 kilometers from the discovery site via Highway 401 East. The cause of death is unknown because of the skeletal state of the remains. However, given the remote location, the absence of clothing, and the indications of a body dump, investigators suspect homicide. The Durham Regional Police Service Major Crime Homicide Unit is leading the investigation. Initial responders included the DRPS Public Order Unit, Forensic Identification Unit, Ontario Provincial Police, and a forensic anthropologist. DNA and dental records have been compared to missing person cases, but no matches have been found. In June 2013, forensic artist Diana Trapkov created a composite drawing based on the skull, along with a 3D clay facial reconstruction and a computer-generated digital version. This one was one of the first such cases in Ontario. An updated reconstruction incorporating the genetic details was released in September 2021, and another was produced by the DNA Doe Project that same year. All tips received have been followed up with particular appeals focused on the ring, whether anyone recognizes it from a friend or family member. As of appeals in 2025, the case remains unsolved and the victim unidentified. Investigators believe she was unlikely transient, based on her dental work, the possible surgical nasal fracture, and her jewelry, which suggest she paid attention to her appearance. The items point to a time frame from the 1980s to the 1990s. She may not have been local or even reported missing, possibly because records were deleted over time. The genetic ties suggest connections to Caribbean Canadian communities in the 1990s or early 2000s. No solid leads have emerged, and there's no direct link to other cases, such as the 1963 abduction of Noreen Greenlee in Bowmanville. If you have any information that could help identify this Jane Doe or shed light on what happened to her, please contact Detective Constable Paul Gregu at 905-579-1520, extension 5439, or Durham Regional Crime Stoppers, 1-800-222-TIPS, that's 8477. Either appeal is also listed Detective Hermano Dorego, 905-579-1520, extension 5319, or HDOREGO at drps.ca. Even the smallest detail could make a difference. That's it for this episode of Ontario Cold Cases. Thank you for listening and helping keep these stories alive. I'm Jay Nickel. Stay safe out there, and we'll be back with another case soon.